Welcome back to the Pittsburgh Sports Saviors. It is November 3rd at 12:12 a.m. This is the Steelers postgame show. The game just ended. The Steelers win 20-16 against the Tennessee Titans. I guess, Lee, I'll let you start off with your thoughts on the game.
Oh yeah, what a game. Too many penalties first to start off. It's just full of penalties the whole game. A lot of the drives that the Tennessee Titans had, it was just penalties. You know, they were getting yards from the penalties that the Steelers were causing. Uh, uh, Joey Porter Jr., 2 on 1 play, you know what I mean? All by himself.
That's impressive to do.
Yeah, so I don't think I've ever seen that. So it was a little sloppy game with the flags. The defense was out there a lot. That first drive, though, I was thinking, man, they really came out, went down, scored first drive, scored a touchdown, and they looked pretty good offensively. And then, the defense looked pretty good, and then it just started turning into 3-and-outs again, and the defense was out there all day, giving up too many yards. Thank goodness for that interception at the end of the game to seal it out for us for a victory, But overall, decent game. Definitely, I would agree with you. They were definitely evenly matched, I would say. This was probably the best matchup they had in this 4-game stretch that we talked about for sure so far. So, decent game. Glad we got the victory.
So, I will introduce the audience that we do not have yet, but to Ryan Toomey. This is going to be like our test run for we're going to start doing live shows after each game, live post-game shows. We'll bring in some guys in for that. So here's Ryan Toomey. Ryan, what were you thinking on the game tonight?
Wasn't very impressed, honestly.
Nah.
I was expecting a little more from the Steelers, but yeah, the whole back and forth, getting the 3-and-outs and all that, it's not. And then the multiple opportunities for the pick to end the game. It wasn't until like the nail biter, got to like the very end point. It's like, come on. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't know. There were some positives that I can take away, even though they struggled a little bit. Canada, I think, called a good game. I don't think there's much to complain about Canada. We had the one false start on his the gimmick gadget play that he was trying at the goal line. Maybe you don't want to do that there when you're at the 2-yard line. Once you just come off the middle, get an easy touchdown, I guess. But other than that, you can't really complain about too much. Most of the problems with the offense, I think, was just players failing to execute. Kenny early on was missing throws. If you want to be nice, you can blame that on his injury, his rib injury. If you want to be mean, you can say he sucks. It's up to you to make your choice. Here's something I think to take away as a positive is they had a 10-play scoring drive in each quarter. They had a touchdown in the first that was over 10 plays. They had the 2 field goals in the second and the third quarters. That, I mean, for the season so far, it's been coming back in the fourth quarter, having a good 20 minutes. They were consistent for the whole game on offense, even though I wouldn't call it they weren't great on offense, obviously, but they showed some consistency for sure. And I guess I'll break down the scoring for that game just to give everyone a little bit of a reset on it. Steelers opened the scoring with about 10-11 left in the first quarter with a Najee 10-yard touchdown run. And then next drive, I think it was the Titans came back and got a field goal with 2:48 left. Second quarter, we had that Derrick Henry run. And then Boswell came back with the 29-yard field goal. And then that was tied 10-10 with minute 16 left. But Nick Folk was able to go down and get another 3 for the Titans. So it was 13-10 at half. What were you guys thinking at that point?
I was thinking, like, man, like it was definitely a close game. I thought maybe it was gonna come the second half, was gonna maybe start to be a shootout at one point. I did, only because the score was 13-10 at the half. I was, it just turned into just a little bit of sloppiness, like Ryan said, throughout that game. It was just sloppy in that second half a little bit. I was shocked though that the running game kind of picked up for sure.
Yeah.
Came the second half. But it I don't know. I thought that it was definitely maybe a little bit more defense in that second half. But it was definitely a little sloppier for sure.
Yeah, I mean, at halftime, I was thinking, I was like, we'll talk about, I guess, the other streak that was broken was Deontay Johnson's, but I thought for a little bit that 400-yard streak may have been finally broken this game. But
Yeah.
the way it played out, I think the Steelers having the lead late actually hurt their chances of breaking that streak.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
what were you thinking
Yeah.
at halftime, Rye?
Honestly, I don't all the flags that were happening.
Mhm.
It was a little rough. I did like how we had that nice, I think it was like 26-yard run we
Yeah.
had. Yeah, that was a good like
Uh-huh.
little wake up. That's what I think the Steelers really needed, was a
Yeah.
little bit of that. That kind of woke it up a little bit. But yeah, it was just a rough second half.
Yeah. I did like the run game. The run game looked solid, and they made that big change of putting Broderick Jones in over Chuks Okafor. I like that Tomlin seems to be willing to make some changes. And that, in the past, I've seen him kind of as being stubborn, but I mean, you got to give him credit. He made that Jones move, and not the one we're all expecting. Everyone's been on Dan Moore, but he went the other side, put him at right tackle, and then Canada on the sidelines. Maybe it did help. Maybe it was nice for them to have Kenny talk to him. I guess during the game, we'll see what happens long term with it and everything.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe he was able to see a little bit more of the field being down there. I mean, at least being up closer to kind of see maybe what Kenny might be seeing too.
Yeah.
And maybe, with the Tomlin thing that you were talking about, I already think Canada's on the hot seat, but I'm thinking Tomlin might be on it too.
Yeah, I'm not ready to say that. I think he's just too good. Maybe it's something where they both sides decide, hey, it's been a long while. Maybe we should make a change. Maybe some team will come and try to trade for him. I heard Washington. I guess there's a rumor coming out this week about them trading for Bill Belichick this offseason. Which would be a little crazy.
Wow.
And I could see something going on there. We mentioned the two changes. I think the one that's gone a little under the radar, but is Joey Porter Jr. Is pretty much taking over that starting spot at cornerback. He's a rookie, so there's going to be growing pains, but I think overall he's a decent upgrade over what they've been doing with Levi Wallace.
Yeah, for sure.
He needs to learn how to tackle, though, for sure.
Yeah, and needs to keep his hands off the player's face mask too. He did that a couple times tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm okay with it against Hopkins. If it's something that keeps going on, maybe he just had to hype himself up for Hopkins today. Hopkins is a great receiver. But I'll run through the second half scoring real quick. Less than the first half. So we had 13-10 at the half. Steelers came out in their first drive. They held the ball for 18-17, got close to the goal line, but ended up with just a field goal from Boswell. And then at the end of the third quarter, Nick Folk gave the Titans back the lead. And then there was only one score in the fourth, was the Deontay Johnson 3-yard pass for the final score, the final touchdown of the game. 2016 is the final, as we were saying before. Who's excited for Deontay Johnson? Ryan, his first touchdown since 2021. How you feeling for him?
I mean, good for him. Good for him. Finally got a touchdown.
Yeah, it has been a minute for sure.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I mean, I think it is a little overblown. 2021. Yeah, it sounds that's 2 years ago. He had some injuries last year. It's not like insane. It happens. Yeah. I think it's more just a weird scenario than an actual like problem that he has with scoring touchdowns.
No, definitely.
Lee, do you want to break down some of the stats for this game?
Yeah, I'm gonna so the Steelers going into the season right now, they are 29th in points, 16.1 points per game. Yards per game, they're 30th 271.7 yards. And their average time of possession, they are in last with 26 minutes and 54 seconds. But this game was a little bit better than their season average right now. So final score again is 20-16 Steelers over the Titans. Total yards is almost equal. Tennessee Titans had 340 to our 326 yards. So almost pretty even there. First downs, it's pretty even. Titans 23, Steelers 22. Which they definitely got a lot more first downs, especially on that first drive. I was just happy to see them not go into a 3-and-out on that first drive. You know what I mean? So they got some first downs. Rushing yards, which I'm shocked here. Steelers 166 yards today. You know, this might be our first 100-yard rushing game of this season at least. And the Titans, they held the Titans to 105, which they're still giving up a good bit of yards, but you know, Derrick Henry's a really good running back. Total passing yards, Titans 235 yards to our 160. And here's a shocker, which I thought was a little interesting. Third down efficiency, Steelers 6 for 12. Normally they're not there, but 50% is pretty good tonight on the third down efficiency. Titans 3 for 13, which I kind of thought they were moving the ball a little bit more. Yeah, I thought they were moving the ball a little bit more.
It's those penalties. The penalties that's what is throwing off that number, I think. Turnovers,
0 turnovers for the Steelers, 1 for the Titans, which was that nice interception at the end by Quan Alexander, which was just great to just end it. And the time of possession, Titans 31 minutes and 9 seconds to the Steelers 28 minutes and 51 seconds. So
baby steps.
Baby steps. Definitely a better game for sure. I will say definitely a better game offensively, a little bit defensively, but you know, they're still giving up yards on defense. We got about 3 or 4 sacks in that game, 2 by Highsmith, 1 by TJ. How about that one? That guy rips his helmet off. He still gets to the quarterback and sacks him. That's just great and fantastic, you know. So definitely a better game statistically from what we've seen in the past. So I mean, I'm hoping they can stay with it, but you know, the Titans, they're not that great of a team, but you know, it was still a tough game for us for sure.
Yeah, going to the penalties. The way I see it is you gotta adjust to this crew. I think they're like a hall monitor crew is the way I'm gonna describe them. Is you know that they give out the 6th most penalties, I think it is, going into this week, and I just think that if you look at the calls, you can't really argue with many of the calls they made. It's just that some crews, I think, just aren't going to make the calls because maybe it's not affecting the play. Maybe it's like a little thing. And it's just something I think teams are going to have to adjust when they have this crew, the Hussy crew. I guess we call it. I'm going to go with the hall monitor crew, called the Hussy crew. What were your thoughts on the refs tonight, Rye?
They were, I don't know if you want to call them tough or just nitpicking at a lot of
that's why I'm calling the hall monitor.
You know, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, first that roughing the passer on TJ, I'm thinking, oh, here we go again. You know, another roughing the passer, and then, you know, then they called one on Titans on Kenny, and then there was just a lot of holding calls that weren't called that should have been called. Then there were holding calls that were called, and just a lot going on in that game. It seemed like the one drive, I think the Steelers had 5 on that first drive, and JPJ had 3
on his own,
on his own in that drive, you know. So I don't even know what to say.
Porter Jr., I think he's been a positive on the defensive side, even with those penalties. He had a tough matchup this week with Hopkins. The only flaw I see with him right now is he's got to learn to tackle. I made a joke to a couple friends about he didn't learn how to tackle from his daddy because Joey Porter Sr. There was never an issue with the tackles with him, and but they have little different builds, and hopefully it's something he there's either two ways to go. He either has to become like Deion Sanders, where he's an amazing and it's okay if you can't tackle if you're Deion, or he's got to start learning to wrap some guys up, I think. But I mean, I'll take either way. I'll take Deion if we have to take Deion. So.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that'd
No
be great.
problem with
Yeah,
that.
no complaint there.
How about Will Levis? What do you guys think of Will Levis today? I think he looked pretty good.
Definitely against our defense, he looked really good.
Yeah.
I thought that he might torch us at one point. You know, they were getting some passes to DeAndre Hopkins, and I was just like, oh no, you know, here we go. I just didn't know if he was gonna do. I was thinking like during that game, because all I could think about was that Falcons game, and I'm like, man, the Falcons gave up 28 points. They scored 23, and you know, Will Levis just like torched them. And I'm like, oh, I hope this doesn't turn into that, you know, because I know we're better than the Falcons for sure. But you know, but yeah, he did look pretty good out there. He did. He looked pretty decent for a rookie.
Ryan? Was this the first time you've seen him, or did you get to check him out with the Falcons?
Oh no, this was my first time I got to see him playing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's got a strong arm. I think he made some tough throws, and he also found some guys that were like wide open a few times.
Yeah, he did. He was pretty solid for he's a rookie, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's a rookie.
Yeah,
it's 33rd overall pick, right after Joey Porter Jr. Actually, he finished. I'm looking at his stats. He finished 22 of 39 for 262 and that one interception to seal the game. I would have expected it to be a higher completion percentage than that, but maybe it was towards the end of the game when it was starting to get a little tighter that he was starting to make some more misses.
Maybe our defense is just a little that good.
I mean, going back to Porter, he seemed to be on Hopkins a lot of the game. Hopkins only ended up with 4 catches for 60 yards, which is I would say that's holding him in check for sure.
For sure, sure.
And then
I think the defense was out there on the field though too long tonight.
I was expecting a little more from TJ, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean he was getting the pressures, he was getting those holds, but there wasn't that for a couple games in a row now. I think we're just being a little too spoiled with how great he's been.
I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of TJ, and tonight was a little different. It was a little different. A couple times tonight, I seen him getting doubled up on the blocking. They were definitely trying to counter him.
Another big thing for the defense, I guess. Hayward's back. I think he. There were fewer runs straight up the middle, I think, for 9 yards on first down. Henry, I think, ended up with like 75 yards rushing, which, I mean, he averaged 4.4 per carry. So his long was 15 yards. It's not too crazy, especially for a guy like him. And then by comparison, Jalen Warren, 11 carries, 88 yards for an 8 yards per carry. Najee, 16 for 69 yards. So both of them, that's 4.3 per carry. So both of them had a solid game. I think that they mixed those two up more than they have before today, I think, especially rushing wise. Warren was getting his catches, but he actually was giving the ball a lot more today, I think.
It was definitely a better rushing game for sure that we've seen in the past. Glad to see them both over, at least 50 yards rushing for both of them. Like I said, we had over 100 yards rushing tonight. Is one of our first, I think, 100-yard rushing games this season so far. So it was pretty good.
Yeah, we had more yards on the ground than in the air. Kenny ended up with 19 completions on 30 attempts, and then 160 yards. That's it. But
the beginning of that game though, he was missing his targets. I don't know what he was doing, but he was overthrowing or underthrowing, or just he wasn't getting.
One positive that we have to give the line credit for is no sacks. Deontay Johnson, another solid game, 7 receptions, 90 yards, 1 TD. It's been a struggle for Pickens lately, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. 2 catches, -1 yards this game.
That's rough.
I don't know.
What's going on. Yeah, that's a little crazy.
He definitely looked frustrated. He should have had that touchdown though. I don't know what he was doing.
I just think it was a brain fart.
Because he's normally good on the sideline. With getting his 2 toes in. I just don't know. I don't know what happened.
Uh-huh.
But he definitely looks frustrated too. He definitely looks frustrated. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I know we've said in the past that, some of these receivers and players, maybe they're just not meant for this offense. I just don't know.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a lull, and everyone knows how important is the offense, and I think that they can figure it out for sure.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Any final thoughts on this game, Ryan?
Just need to be a little stronger on the offense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we need to get a little stronger. Maybe because a lot of it's a new team, it's a newer team, you know. But yeah, we got to work on getting a little stronger on the offense. Our defense doesn't seem too bad. It's the offense needs a little more work, in my opinion.
Yeah. Lee, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think with this nice they get a little bit of a break because they played a short week, so they get a little bit of a break until the next game they play. I'm hoping they can become a little more disciplined with the penalties. I mean, because we definitely are committing too many penalties in the games. Maybe I hope they can keep this momentum going into playing the Packers in 2 Sundays from now. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe we'll see Matt Canada down on the field again. Again, the offense needs to put up more points. They put up 20. They put up 20 tonight, but it'd be nice if they can keep that going. I'd also like to just see them on the field a little bit more longer, having longer plays and keeping the defense on the sideline so they can get some breaths.
So here's my conspiracy theory for Canada on the sideline.
All right.
It was 37 degrees. It's 37 degrees out right now. I think it was punishment. He said, Tomlin said, if we're all going to be sitting here cold, Canada's going to be out here too in this cold. That's what I think happened.
I like it. I like it.
Tomlin's been watching all the clips and seeing Canada all cozy in that box every week. And he decided it's time to come in the cold.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
No, but my final takeaway from that game is the Steelers are 5-3.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how it happened, doesn't matter what it looks like. They're 5-3. They're in a playoff spot, 1 game behind the Ravens, and they've beaten the Ravens already on the season. So just keep stacking your wins. We got Green Bay next. What do you give about 30 seconds or so going forward to Green Bay? Ryan, what do you think?
I haven't seen much of Green Bay this year, to be honest. So
yeah,
I don't got much on that.
Okay, cool.
I don't got much on that.
No worries. I put you on the spot. That's on me. Lee, how about you? What do you think about the Green Bay Packers so far this year?
I think they're a little bit like us. They kind of come back.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They're like a second half team like us. So it's going to be an interesting game for sure. Again, we're playing another first year guy, Jordan Love. So, we'll see what happens. Hopefully another victory.
Yeah, I feel good about the game. I feel good. If you remember when we did our video a couple weeks ago, I was hesitant to give this one a win. I was saying we were more likely to be 1-3 than 2-2. Well, guess what? We already guaranteed the 2-2 part, and now we can go back to what you were saying. You were thinking 3-1, and if I was a betting man, I would go for that 3-1 side over the 2-2 now. But Jordan Love has shown some flashes, but I think you're right. There is similarities between him and Kenny so far. I think that they're kind of on the same level, and I think that our defense is ahead of the Green Bay defense. I think we have better weapons than Green Bay too. So I like the matchup. I think we should have a good win there. Yeah. That game's at 1 p.m. That's on the road too, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So I guess we'll wrap up there. It's a good post-game show, I think.
Thanks for joining, Ryan.
Thank you for coming in, Ryan.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Yeah. And then we'll be back next Saturday. I think we'll have another video out previewing that Green Bay game.
Sounds good.
So I'll see you. Thanks for watching, everyone.